Jacqueline, and in this video I'm going to share with you my 7 reasons as to why I am no longer on the plant-based vegan diet. Whew, okay, I let it out finally. This has been something that I have been wanting to share with you for so long. I was a little nervous sharing it, to be honest, but I know that this video is going to provide so much clarity in all of the lessons that I have learned from being on this diet. Why did I become vegan? This is what people say is the epitome of health. So I was excited to see what it was like to be in my own body. And you know, at first it was amazing. I had so much fun going to restaurants all over the world. The food was colorful and there's tons of amazing, delicious food. But I said, you know, when I first started this diet, I was going to try it and do it for as long as it worked for me. And there came a time where it just stopped working for me. Now I'm going to explain to you though where it started to begin to go south in my body. Reason number 1 is bloating, and not just your little bit of bloating. This was chronic, painful bloating that was getting in the way of my life, getting in the way of me being able to move my body and exercise and feel comfortable in my own skin. It was so painful at times that I would just have to lay down. I did everything that you're supposed to do, right? Yoga, obviously, I did a lot of yoga. Go on walks, have water, have lemon water, have ginger tea, have peppermint, essential oils, massaging the belly. I did all of these things, but when you come to a point where you're trying to alleviate a pain every single day, it just is like, this can't be the way I'm going to live every day. And so I also did the digestive enzymes, which made me super nauseous. I did probiotics. The probiotics didn't help. I did everything. So this is what I've learned. Bloating doesn't come from a lot of things that you think it comes from. It actually comes from fiber. So it comes from beans, it comes from veggies, raw veggies, it comes from breads, it comes from fruit, it comes from all kinds of things. Fiber's in mainly almost all of the plant-based foods. So the way the fiber works in the belly is that it bypasses the small intestine, goes into the large intestine, it ferments, it turns into short-chain fatty acids, and in that process it does create gases, and it creates gases in the belly that can actually cause pain and the immense amount of bloating. So let's move on to reason number 2. Reason number 2 was the horrific, embarrassing, foul gas that was coming out of my body. Okay, so that might be TMI, but we need to talk about this. This gas was horrific, embarrassing. I would be out and, you know, like they say, whoever denied it supplied it. That was me at a time, true confession. It was getting in the way of my life, right? I was honestly so nervous anytime I would go out that I would have this embarrassing gas, or I would like end up having to go home suddenly because I felt this gas coming on. It just was horrible, and it was getting in the way of my life. Okay, so this goes hand in hand with number 1, right? This was also caused from the fiber. When the fiber gets digested into the body, the stomach produces a lot of gas from fermenting and everything like that. And so that's where this was all coming from. So reason number 3 is inflammation. I was experiencing inflammation in my face. I got super puffy in my face. I got puffy throughout my whole body, my arms, my abs, my thighs especially, and I could tell that I was losing muscle definition. I thought that it was because I was in my 30s now that I was losing muscle definition, but no, it was from all of the inflammation, because once I adopted a different lifestyle of eating, I found my muscle definition came back, which was really interesting. So the reason why I was experiencing the inflammation is because the plant-based diet is super high in carbohydrates and sugar. And when you eat like this, your insulin levels begin to raise up because you're eating so many of the sugars and carbohydrates. When you have prolonged levels of insulin, this can cause inflammation in the body. And inflammation in the body is your body's way of saying something is wrong. It's inflammatory. There's something happening that is wrong. And here's the thing though, is I did every anti-inflammatory protocol you can think of. I did all of the things that they said, you know, ginger, turmeric, celery juice. I was doing all these things that are anti-inflammatory that are supposed to help bring the inflammation down. And I've never been someone to take, you know, medicine like Advil or anything like that, but it still didn't work. Another reason why I was experiencing inflammation was because of the vegetable oils that are in the diet. I had no idea about this when I started to look into the actual ingredients of the meat alternatives and the dairy alternatives. They have all kinds of vegetable oils, canola oil, all these things that just are so bad for the body. It causes inflammation, and not only that, but they are carcinogenic. As soon as I found that out, I knew I had to get them out of my diet ASAP. Reason number 4 is I had an immense amount of acid reflux almost every day, to the point where sometimes I would actually be throwing up in my mouth randomly. I know, very gross. So let me explain why this is happening. And there are 2 factors involved with acid reflux like this. One of them is the fact that the stomach gets overloaded with food and liquid. The second factor could be that there is delayed emptying of the stomach, also known as indigestion. So I did everything that you were supposed to do, right? I took the antacids, which did work, but I didn't want to be dependent on taking antacids every single day. I didn't have any spicy foods. That's always the number 1, you know, no spicy foods, no tomato foods, those things like that, no lemon. So I took all of those out of my diet to make sure that I didn't have all these acid foods that people always say. Another thing that happened, which was really interesting, is when I went to the dentist told me that I had an influx of potential cavities and tooth decay. I was shocked by this because I have always been super proud about my teeth, about the fact that I don't have any cavities and my teeth are in really great shape. So I attribute this to the immense amount of carbohydrates in the plant-based diet, as well as my acid reflux. That, of course, was coming up into my mouth and affecting the health of my teeth. So what I was most surprised to know and to learn was that the acid reflux was not coming from fatty foods, because I was not having any fats. Believe it or not, fiber is the largest contributor to acid reflux, because, get this, it expands 4 to 5 times its size in the stomach. Acid reflux is because of 2 factors usually. The fact that the stomach is overloaded, so right, the fiber has expanded 4 to 5 times, and also delayed emptying of the stomach, also known as indigestion. So that is why fiber is causing the acid reflux in the stomach. And as we know, the plant-based diet is almost completely full of fiber, which is why I was experiencing so much acid reflux. Reason number 5 is that I had mysterious weight gain. I went to the doctor, stepped on the scale, looked at the scale, and I was like, oh my gosh, 10 extra pounds. I'm only 5'2", and that is a lot. So these pounds just creeped up on me from what it seems like out of nowhere, and I was so confused because I work out all the time. I do all the things I'm supposed to be doing. I'm on the healthiest diet possible, right? And I'm gaining weight. So at first I thought, oh, maybe it's because I'm in my 30s. And that's always the worst thought, right? It's like, well, I guess it's just downhill from here. But I was like, no, I am not going to choose that as my reality, and that does not have to be the case. And so I started to dig further. And so when I started to really dig into this, I realized, you know, the plant-based diet is high in sugars, high in carbohydrates. What this does is it increases insulin levels in the body. And when those are elevated, that can cause weight gain, because weight is about hormone balance. And so if your hormones are out of balance like that, then you can gain weight. Another reason is that with plants, you can't actually absorb all of the nutrients. First of all, because of the anti-nutrients that are in plants. And second of all of the fiber that's in there that can actually block nutrients from being absorbed in your body. So this is what causes that constant hunger. So I was hungry all the time. I'd eat, 2 hours later, hungry. Eat, 2 hours later, hungry. Okay, so this was causing me to eat all the time, but I just felt hungry all the time, and so I just kept eating, and it felt like it was guiltless, right? I remember I would say that I felt very guilt-free, but I was always hungry, and so I just kept eating, thinking that it was totally fine. And then I step on the scale and realize that I'm gaining weight. So that was a big sign that something's not going right in my body on this diet. Reason number 6 is that I was taking so many supplements, because when you're eating a plant-based diet, there are certain nutrients that you just cannot get through plants and you must get through animal products. One of them being amino acids. I was taking 10 amino acid pills a day. And I was telling everybody to do this because we had to supplement it in order to get the nutrients that our body needs to function, to build new cells, to build muscles, all these kinds of things. Otherwise, you start to get really unhealthy. So when I started to really look at it, I thought, is this close to nature? Is this what we're intended to eat? It didn't seem to line up anymore, because in order for me to survive, I had to take my supplements with me everywhere. Otherwise, I was malnourished. Also, studies show that people who supplement with vitamin B are still showing a vitamin B deficiency in their blood work. So that means that the body is not actually absorbing this nutrient, and you cannot get B vitamins in a plant-based diet. You must get it in meat and animal products. So whether or not these supplements are actually being absorbed in the body and utilized by the body is still up for question. Reason number 7 is, after a while, I honestly did not know what to eat anymore. Of course, if I went to a vegan restaurant, there was plenty of things to eat, but just my day-to-day at home, what I'm gonna eat, really, it just felt like I was at a loss, because I couldn't eat raw veggies anymore. It was just too destructive on my gut. It was painful. All of the things that I had listed before, I just couldn't do the raw veggies anymore. The second thing was, there are the meat alternatives and the dairy alternatives, but when I actually started to look into the ingredients of these products, I was shocked blew my mind to see the ingredient list, because they are full of vegetable oils. And do you know what vegetable oils are? They are carcinogenic. And so when people keep saying that eating plant-based is the closest way to eat to nature, it felt so far away from nature, because so much of it was manufactured and recreated, and it had all of these vegetable oils that were carcinogenic. So basically, guys, what I was resorting to every single day was a smoothie. That's basically all I was having, and I was supplementing with powders after powder after powder after powder, and it didn't work for me anymore. Having those powders every single day, it wasn't real food. It didn't feel like I was actually eating food. I felt so sick from the fiber. I would just have all the indigestion and everything like I described before. So after all of these reasons, this is why this plant-based diet did not work for me at all anymore. If you're someone struggling and you resonate with anything that I said in this video, then I have great news for you, because you do not have to live like this anymore. Since then, I have continued on my journey, and I have finally found the solution to removing these symptoms in my body. I no longer have bloating. I no longer have inflammation throughout my body. I no longer have chronic abdominal pain or embarrassing gas. Super happy about that one. And I have been able to lose that mysterious weight gain that I had, and I actually see my abs again. I can see definition in my abs for the very first time, and I can see definition in my legs and in my arms, and I can tell that the inflammation in my face is gone. My periods are regular. The list goes on and on and on, and it just is so exciting to share all of this with you. And this is why I decided to put all this information in a program for women just like you who might be struggling with this, because I want to help you holistically reset your body to a healthy weight and to decrease bloating in your body. So if you are still listening to this, then you are probably interested in learning more and understanding my journey and how this can help you and your body. And so I have left the link down below in the description box where you can learn all about my program and how it can help you and your body in your health journey. So I'm super excited to connect with you there. And that is everything for today. I'm super excited that this is finally out. I would love to hear from you. Comment below and let's continue this conversation in the chat. Also subscribe to my channel here, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.